All right. Well, it's that time again. Monday night. Time for another open court discussion live in the Counselor's Corner. I am your host, David Lorenzo Glover, aka the Controversial Counselor. Joining me is my co-host, the Big Bad Wolf, Herb Lewis.
Ow!
Boy, oh boy, this is the perfect subject for the wolf to be growling. Tonight, October 6th, 9 p.m., we will be covering the topic Dress Too Tight for School. The debate about teachers' attire has been heating up with some educators facing backlash for their clothing choices, from dresses deemed too short to outfits considered too revealing. The question remains what's appropriate for teachers? Let's dive into the controversy. Um, this Georgia superintendent sparked debate by sending an email to teachers listing capri pants as inappropriate attire. Meanwhile, a teacher's pink $12 Walmart dress went viral, with some criticizing its length and others defending her right to express herself. We will explore these topics, examining the complexities of teacher dress code and their impact on the learning environment. Please like and share our video, and don't forget to tell a teacher to tell another teacher to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Controversial Counselor. We're sitting at 977 subs, 23 away from 1K. No movement from last week. Should I be discouraged? Should we be discouraged? Absolutely not. Uh, let's go. Help me to help you. And here we have it. So, uh, well, we'll start off with you. What's going on? What's new in your world?
Yeah, still fighting that Bulls battle, man. And shout out to all the Buff State crew that made the reunion this year. Me and my wisdom, I didn't really think about checking on the homecoming game. I was thinking into October, and I missed it again. And the sad part is this shit is right in my backyard. But other than that, man, just trying to make some plans for the new year, trying to shore those up and get those things going. I had to rebook the room, man. I didn't think I was gonna get it. But other than that, man, uh plans for the house, gonna start stripping these floors. Um the other job is going really, really well, man. I'm kind of blessed. Shout out to my brother for getting me in there. Um that's about it, man. It's smooth sailing from right now. I got no complaints.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I guess as the conversation go on, just honeymoon stage is over. It's probably been over with the school. People trying to mark their territory. New students coming in that's not acclimated, who wasn't there last year, the first year at my school. So it's some of that jockeying for position. I deal with the eighth graders, so you know that I like to tell them by January, I consider y'all ninth graders. I shouldn't be seeing the same behaviors from sixth grade. Y'all chasing each other down the hall full speed and can't sit down in the cafeteria. And I keep telling them you're gonna be in for a whole different world in high school. You're gonna be in for a whole different world, and some of them you can see the maturity and the growth, and some of them you're a little disappointed because you're like, dang, I expected better. Like I wanted better from you, and you still doing the same old crap. So just dealing with that, and the other high demands on the job, more responsibilities, but ain't more pay. Some got to give. Something got to give, and as I keep saying, I got to be one of the ones that make that happen. I did receive some excellent news that got my letter for that loan forgiveness. Wiped it
Oh,
all
nice,
out. Wiped it
nice.
all out. All out. So just waiting for all that final process to go through. But I just got the letter maybe on Saturday. Zero balance. Zero balance. But I put in work for that. I put in 32 years.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
why not wipe it out? Why not?
Yeah.
But thank you for the I don't know, the committee or whoever that saw it through. Much appreciation and
Yeah. I think that was
well
Congress.
deserved. Yeah, well deserved and well appreciated. So
Just looking at my finger to see how it's healing, comparatively speaking. Because 2 weeks ago I couldn't do that. I don't have that kind of dexterity and making the fist, even though I still feel some tension in the ligaments on the tendons. I can almost make a complete fist without it, really hurting. So that's something to add in there.
so yeah, and that's pretty much what I have going on. But tonight got a very interesting subject. This dress code thing as teachers. And I know for me as a male, I've kind of, you know, my dress code has changed over the years. Starting off in starting off at college, pretty much uh, jackets, ties, slacks, button-down shirt, dress pants, shoes, slippery Earl shoes like dress shoes. Then went to high school, kind of still had the same thing, but maybe on a Friday throw a blazer, some jeans on, and uh, but kind of went with the trends, but still tried to remain professional. But then, you know, as I got into the high school years, like breaking up fights and stuff, I'm like, yo, these church shoes ain't hitting on nothing trying to break up with these especially these girls wilding out, don't know how to stop, and you falling, busting your ass, trying to break up fights. I'm like, yo, something got to give. But then it became, the trend of wearing, casual stuff with sneakers or sneakers that match your khakis and button-down shirts. So in middle school, I kind of started wearing more sneakers because I was on the move more up and down stairs, and kids are more active. High school is more sedentary as a counselor. A lot of times you sitting around writing recommendation letters, filling out forms, and having one-on-one meetings and talking about careers and stuff. Middle school, just never know. Just never know what you're gonna get into. So I kind of got into that fad of just matching my sneakers with, like I said, button-down shirts, different color khakis, and that's that. So always trying to keep it professional and trendy. But on the other hand, women is kind of hard. It's kind of maybe difficult some of the dress attire. And like I said in the promo, that some women, if you wear like no, I know for some women, no one wants to wear stuff that's overly sized and they looking all frumpy and stuff. And if they wear something tight fitting, and they got the body to go with it, what can you do? It's just gonna be like that. But then that creates, especially when you host the stuff, because your first day outfits and your body is banging and you're getting lots of views and lots of feedback and lots of comments. So I don't know. Might question that method, like, oh, my first day outfit. Um, I don't know. And I guess to me that brings the attention of somebody looking at your outfit, which is going to lead them to look at your body. Why not? First day of school. Well, back in school, where if it's there, it's there. But I think some of the poses and stuff like that draw attention, and that's why we having this debate. And we'll talk a little more about the student engagement part or the how it impacts learning. But I'm just wanted to introduce the subject. Big Bad Wolf, what you want to add to it before we get cooking on this?
No, actually, I want to pick up the first part of your monologue where you talked about, halfway through their eighth grade year, you consider them, to be freshmen, high school freshmen, and I concur. Now, I want to give a PSA. We are not here to attack women, okay? But there's going to be undue attention on women for the reason that women generally are the moral keepers and teachers in societies, not just here, but across the world and abroad. Now, for the most part, women tend to influence clothing styles more than men. And I'm not talking about designers, okay? I'm talking about everyday men, everyday women who walk around and do things or entertain us for that matter. And I'll give you a couple examples. For those of us who are old enough to know when Madonna hit the stage, there was a group of young girls who emulated just what she wore, set off an 80s fashion trend. Now, Madonna's not necessarily known as a fashion icon, but Nicki Minaj is. And we got a group of young women who are emulating Nicki Minaj in virtually every way, shape, or form. So that's the aspect that we're focusing on when we talk about this. Now, clothing is very, very selective. I mean, a lot is said about clothing. A lot is said about a uniform. And the thing about it is that the aspect that we're addressing is modesty. For those who want to work a definition of what we're going to use tonight, real simple. Observing the properties of dress and behavior. Dave mentioned it, and I'll echo that. There are some women who are shaped very voluptuously who are going to have difficulties finding clothing that do not accentuate certain body parts and do not put them under a magnifying glass. Unfortunate. When you start to get up into certain professions where you're going to be around impressionable people, male and female, I would suggest this one thing. Make sure you have a good tailor on hand. Whether you're buying things that are handmade or off the rack, get them tailored so they fit well, but they don't blow you up. And by that I mean this. If you're walking around with a C plus cup, you go out and buy you a blouse, and you have it taken out a quarter inch. You have it taken out a half inch. So when you wear it, you got some wiggle room in there, no pun intended. So people aren't necessarily staring at your assets. Now, I know coming from a man, they'll say, well, what do you know about this? I'm telling you because I see things and I acknowledge things. And I've been known to give people advice from time to time, even though I may not fit the stereotypical male who knows about female fashion. I told you, I buy women clothes. I buy women clothes so they can look good with me. Do you think I want a woman walking around who looks like she on a job when she's not on the job? So yeah, there's a little thing. Also, Marilyn Monroe was quoted as saying, "You want to wear clothes that are tight enough to show you a woman, but loose enough to reveal you're a lady." Please put that on your mirror, and when you're going shopping, keep that in the back of your head, because a lot of people will say, well, they don't make clothes for me. Rob Newhouse, a running back for the Dallas Cowboys in the 1980s, had thighs so big that his wife had to sew his game pants, specially made. So if he can do it, you can do it. Now, and to be honest, people, having a tailor on hand doesn't cost you a lot of money. It's not like they're lawyers. You got some people who will do up a shirt and you be like, yo, this looks nice. And Kevin Samuels, rushed up, man, used to talk about getting a personal tailor. I would tell men the same thing. If you have a problem, well, first of all, men, get in the weight room. Get on the bike, get in the weight room, buy a jump rope, get you a pair of boxing gloves. Dave used to have the apparatus you attach to his head. Work out. Your problem exists solely in the kitchen, and I'll be the first to tell you that I'm 285 pounds right now. I got a problem with sweets. They be calling me like drugs do a thing. That's my battle. That's something I got to acknowledge and fight through when I'm doing that. But man, you really have no excuse for clothes that don't fit well. I'm sorry. There's just not women, yeah, because women want to be comfortable. They say, well, look, we got to wear bras and we got to wear heels and we have to wear this. I understand. But schools, and correct me if I'm wrong, David, schools do allow for women to wear flats. So you do have that. I would suggest, yeah, I would suggest for those of you who like to wear leggings, please wear dresses, wear skirts. I got a matter of fact, I got a list of clothing here. We'll probably get into a little later of things that are no longer worn by both genders. It happens to be a little longer for the women, of course, because they're ahead in terms of fashion. Their clothing styles change far more than ours do. And I'll use swimsuits as an example. For the last 100 years, swimsuits for men has just been a basic pair of shorts. You got the Speedo. That's it. For women, you went from a full bathing suit to a two-piece to a bikini to a thong bottom and strapless tops. You got all manners of selections when it comes to swimsuit. You can wear a wrap. You can wear what they call a tankini. Choices are endless.
Yeah, lucky.
Go ahead.
Lucky Auntie still ain't been herself since her thing, and she came on here and grilled y'all. Hopefully she nursed herself back and popped back up, but she's still going through trauma. But I got a couple images, whatever, some of these teachers, first day pictures. Let me see. You know, I ain't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought I added it to it. Maybe not. Wait. Right there. Now, that's somebody posting first day of school outfit. And again, don't know what level she at. It doesn't matter. Maybe elementary, but maybe even the 4th and 5th grade elementary, like I've been telling y'all years ago, that they're requesting nudes from girls their age. So you have little girls, they're in the tub, in the shower, and parents not paying attention. So they're sending little boys pictures of their body. So they're very in tune. Again, things are more advanced than when we were younger. We had them whack Hustler magazines and Playboy magazines that we would get a hold of, and we would see images of women's body. And if you got lucky, someone might have had the Playboy channel or something like that, that you had the opportunity to see actually video images. But for the most part, remember, I always say, and images are powerful. But if you can imagine this young lady with some middle school kids, are they really gonna be focused? I mean, their whole time they were like, God damn. And high school, there's a chance, and I've been seeing it on the news, and it's been throughout. There's a lot of teachers been having an inappropriate relationship with high school kids, even some middle school kids. And then I just seen something, I think last night, like some woman, teacher, and it was like an elementary kid, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what is going on in this world? But that's just one image. Here's another one. Maybe this is the pink Walmart one. And I don't know.
See, that's a date dress. That's not work attire. But that's just me.
Yeah, and I can see the surrounding. It's elementary. So again, maybe depends if it's kindergarten, first grade, second grade. But once they 4th or 5th grade, that might be too much STEM life for them. 3rd graders might be in between, but Hey, if it don't drive the kids crazy, if it's any male staff that's willing to work at elementary, with which a lot of guys decline, it certainly might drive them crazy for the day. Uh, but that's another image. And let me get one more. I'm just trying to give you a little insight. Here's another one. Let me remove this one. Again, depending on the level, I don't, I don't know how many. Well, hey, let me not just focus and say it's boys. It's girls too. In the climate that we live in, I've heard girls at the middle school level say to teachers, like, damn, damn, she thick. So that it goes both ways. That, and we're in a hypersexual type of these kids are hypersexual. So um, boys and girls. So you're very impressionable, and they're turned on. And keep in mind that they, even though they, most states and school districts are trying to remove the cell phone, but the kids still have them. Don't think they not snapping pictures and all of that stuff, and not trying, wouldn't be posting things or whatever. Like, damn, look at this Jackson pass right here, or little stuff like that. And again, like I said in one promo, how I know stuff, these conversations happen, because a lot of times they'll come and tell me. Now they'll dog the hell out you if you're not dressed with the latest trends. See, the one thing about teachers like this, they become they become the popular teachers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the boys want the attention, and even the girls. So I think some women may come in the mindset like, I want my students to like me, and they'll try to keep up with the trend. Now you do have to, at certain levels, you do have to keep up with the trends. That's just for your own sake. Well, just period. Overall, you don't want to be some outdated individual. Uh, but you're under the microscope. I think as Herb mentioned, when you're in a school, because they're looking at you from head to toe. They pay attention to everything. So I mean, as soon as you walk in the door, they're all on it. I was out Friday because I had a professional development, and within the first 10, 15, 20 minutes of my work day, a couple of students like, where was you at? Um, on Friday. Excuse me? Why y'all clocking my time? So they all over it, and they're waiting to attack. Uh, it's like almost like they wait like, okay, this is what I got up for. To they're monitoring everything. So I just wanted to throw those couple examples to see.
And
Now
that's
some
funny you
people,
said that too.
go ahead.
I said it's funny you said that because I remember doing volunteer mentoring, and they recklessly eyeballing, man. And it's just like, yo, because I would go in there with just something basic, a pair of slacks, some dress shoes, and a French cuff shirt with cufflinks. Um, don't recall if I wore a tie. I don't think I wore a tie, but they do. Who are you? Why are you here? What your job is? This, yo, they do things that we were A, taught not to do, and B, didn't have the audacity to do it even if we could, because it was just out of place. And that's a lot of what, you know, drive this kind of behavior, with the clothing. There's three, at least as I see it, three influences on children and students. One, obviously, being the family. That's what most students will spend the most of the time around, or at least so you think, to their peers, friends. Makes sense. 3, teachers. And this is what David was talking about with the females. When young girls start to get around that age, 8, 9, and 10, they're paying attention. You know why? Because they're looking at what the boys look at. And they say, if the boys are looking at that, I want that kind of attention. So, and they figure it out real quick. So when I start to grow and when I start to look like that, that's how I'm going to dress. And people don't seem to make the correlation. David always says, all this stuff comes together. And this is why we talk about these particular things. So if you're not aware, you start to develop an awareness. So when your daughter is, like David says, she dressed one way when she leaves the house, and when she get to school, she got a completely different outfit on. You wondering why? She wants that attention. Attention for a lot of women, a lot of girls especially at that age. It's currency. Why do you think they fight for clicks and likes? It's not like they're getting paid for it. No, it feeds into almost a quasi-narcissistic behaviors to where they when they get in these little cat fights, they say, look, I got more friends than you do. I got more subs than you do. I got more likes than you do. Well, we can both dress the same and I'm going to get more. Where do you think it starts at? I'm here to tell you. And just so you guys understand how much attention a student that goes to school almost every day, let's say they miss 4 or 5 days out of the year, they spend over 1,000 hours in class looking at images of teachers dressed the same way, dressed a particular way, pardon me. And I'm not saying that the way those women on those pictures dress is provocative, because it isn't. But it is titillating. It's titillating to men. It's certainly titillating to young boys. And it's certainly going to be eye-opening to young girls. Just pay attention.
Let me just say that this is how much they pay attention. Like it's just something I could do. I could probably do it on my own, but I go to the barber shop every other week, and my students, they'll tell me, the female, Mr. Gladder, you need to when you gonna shave your hair? You need to, when you going to the barber shop, whatever. I'm like, my appointment is tomorrow or whatever. It's not this week. But they pay attention to every aspect, whatever. And like, I was about to say, is your hair starting to grow on the top, whatever? You need a haircut or whatever the case is. And they don't have no filters. Yeah. That's something we wouldn't have said back in the days. That wouldn't have been our concern. But now, again, images and things that they see and the comfortability, and maybe some of them have younger parents or whatever the case is, they say whatever out their mouths. And for y'all people who don't believe in it, say, nah, not my kid. I can give you hundreds, probably situations or scenarios that, yeah, it's your kid. But this is the stuff that they say. So they pay attention to everything. And I can remember this back in the days. And it's so sad when, and I know I might sound hypocritical when I said sometimes as a teacher, educator, you kind of want to keep up with the trends, but you want to be fashionable for yourself either way, no matter what. That's just irregardless of the school situation. But I remember it was an older teacher at a high school, and she would wear her little wigs, and they clowned the hell out of her. Like At the time, she might have been in her late 50s, early 60s, and they clowned the hell out of her.
I
And
think I know who you're talking about too.
they no, this was a here down here, a feature.
Oh,
Yeah. So they
mm,
they didn't have a respect level because of the dress code or the way she looked. She was already old. So again, that's the one thing I keep saying about being an educator. I said I am not going to sit around like an athlete and be hanging around till I become irrelevant, and then they clown you on everything. I'm still sharp as a tack, so I still be all right. I still be head to toe, and like my one student said, Mr. Glover like that. He liked that. I still holding on to that. That I'm like that. And well, anyways, this woman had her wigs, and it was probably as a hot mess. But she is more of an authority figure in the class. Like, okay, I'm the boss, this and that. And they like, oh, could you take me out that class, Mr. Glover? I can't deal with her old shifted wigs and this and that. And they would clown her and they would talk shit to her. Then one time, I guess over the weekend, she came back. Like Stella got her groove. She had braids. She was and I kind of felt bad for her. I was like, damn, they made her cave in.
mm-hmm.
Um, she changed up her whole thing. And when she kind of walked by, I had to do a double take. Huh? like, like what? And I knew where it came from. The pressure of the kids that made her change up her whole style. And to be honest, I think once she changed up her style, they start respecting her more, and they
Oh,
learned better. And then they came, and these same people that was hard on her, they say, you know what? She's not that bad after all. I think she realized I got to bend a little too. I got to give in. I got to meet them halfway. And I think she did that, and that's what made her, you know, they kind of learn from her because now these same young ladies, they're all they're all shit. Some of them are doctors,
mm-hmm.
nurses, and we had one of my former panel members, the youngest in charge. If she was on here now, she'll be like, "I know what you're talking about." She was one of them. So they kind of she a connection was kind of formed, and they was able to ride it out. And that was good that she was able to ride it out because some teachers fold. They can't make it. They
Oh,
have breakdowns and all that stuff. They don't want to come back to work. And these kids, they be running shit. Like yeah, I know what I'm talking about because they run shit in households. Some of your households, I'm just not built like that. I'm not cut like that. That you go break me like that. Been through too many storms for that to happen. But some people are weak. But it all ties in. Like that's why you got to have a balance on the way you dress and all that stuff. You got to have. It's a tough subject, whatever, and but you gotta be on point. You gotta be comfortable in your own skin, but you gotta be
yeah.
willing to try different things also to enhance yourself and maybe. And I know some people I ain't doing shit with no kid. I dress the way I dress. Well, you try that and coming up in the school because a lot of y'all are talk big stuff, whatever, but you don't know how it is working in a school, and that's probably one of the toughest populations things to work at. You can talk big. You can think you miss popularity. You think you can do that. Step your ass in the school. It's 12, 1,300 kids. Your ass is grass.
He said those are a lot of uppercuts and right crosses to be
Yeah.
absorbed, and eventually you start to check out. You say, "Hey, look, man, uh, this these are heavyweight fights. I'm a lightweight. I can't." But it's funny you say that because what a lot of people struggle with is they don't have a style. You talk about this with the kids all the time. All of them are wearing sweatshirts, or all of them are wearing hoodies. They don't have any individual taste, no individual style. And where that can help you at is, let's say you like you always wearing dresses. No matter what the occasion is, you wear a dress. People say, well, why are you always wearing dresses, Mrs. or Miss or such and such? He said, because I like the way it makes me feel. Well, can't you wear pants on occasion? He said, I could, but why should I wear pants? Give me a reason why I should wear pants. And the kid said, I don't know, because it's different. Challenge the kid. Say, all right, I'll tell you what. What next test you got? I got a science test next week. I'll make you a deal. What are you grade right now? B minus. If you get an A on that test, just for you, I'll go out and buy a pair of pants and I'll wear them to school. That's just to switch up on the style. And you, kid, meets the agreed upon portion of their deal. You go out and you find a pair of pants. You say, you know what? That's not so bad after all. Because I know there's at least one religion that forbids women to wear pants, but I won't get into that. You say, you know what? I kind of like this. I get to wear a blouse. I get to wear this. Get to school and say, hey, you look nice in a pair of pants. You say, you know what? I like this look. And all of a sudden, now you've added something different to your repertoire. You wear pants here, wear a dress there. And it allows you to be flexible. And like I said, for women, y'all have the world at your feet when it comes to fashion. You can wear pants, you can wear full-length dresses, full-length skirts, you can wear short skirts, calf-high boots, knee-high boots. I mean, literally, there's almost nothing that women can't wear. Men are kind of restricted. You got to wear pants all the time. Unless you can walk into school in a kilt. And the kids really going to have fun with you then. What are you, women now? No, it's not a dress, it's a kilt. No, that's a dress or that's a skirt. They don't know no difference. These kids don't know the difference between culture, ethnicity, nationality. I was talking to one of our clients at my other job, and we had a 10 to 12 minute discussion, college level discussion on this, and it was funny. And I was just saying, man, it's alarming that these kids don't understand those nuances, in that. So, when these kids don't understand those particular nuances, they're not going to be able to grasp why a person might dress a particular way, their style. I'm just going to go get something because it fits. Or in the case of boys, I'm just going to get something that don't fit. Who cares if my pants don't come up over my behind? And we see a lot of that. We see that. You see that in workplaces. You have to literally, is this interviewee dress appropriate? And by appropriate, we don't mean are they wearing pants or button-up shirt. Do their pants actually come up over their behind, or is their underwear showing? When we were in school, yeah, our generation was the old crisscross generation. We were the poster child for oversized clothing. But our undergarments didn't show. Mom, pops, that wasn't going to work. Boy, you better pull your pants up. Like a matter of fact, while I'm on this, I got a list of things that I'm going to read. Most people over the age of 35 have no idea what these is. Maybe just the one. Girdles, stockings, pantyhose, suspenders, ties, bow ties, and slips. I dare any of you to go ask a female or male under the age of 35 what any of those look like or what they are, and they will be clueless. When we were coming up, those were staples, especially stockings and pantyhose. You couldn't go to a formal event. You couldn't go to church. You couldn't go to a recital or anything and wear a dress and not wear stockings or pantyhose. That was unacceptable. Even, matter of fact, I don't know if they still do this now, but airlines across the board, it was mandatory that you had to wear stockings. Mandatory. Because it created a uniform look. And people say, well, what's in the uniform or what's in clothes? Uniform means a whole lot to a lot of people. Uniform signifies one. It signifies uniformity, hence uniform. But clothing, I wrote this list down and I want y'all to consider this. Clothing for some people, especially women, offers protection. Here's a list. Give you 3 people, 3 groups, and you tell me which one is probably the least protected. A nun, a woman in a hijab, or a prostitute. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to figure out which one's probably not going to be protected well. So when we talk about clothes and we talk about manners of dress, because women seem to think that they dress for themselves and they don't dress for men. And then when a boyfriend or husband says something about their clothing, how it's too revealing, how it's provocative, this is what we're talking about. But this type of stuff starts at a younger age because a lot of young girls don't have the good imagery of what somebody well dressed looks like, what somebody well behaved looks like, what decorum and those type of clothing should convey. You don't see women in dresses fighting. You don't see women in dresses behaving like they have no upbringing. But all of this comes together in clothing choice. Bonnets. Go look at World Star Hip Hop. When you see them fights, what are they wearing? How are they dressed? It's a cultural identity as well as a national identity. This is why when Americans travel abroad, we're easily pinpointed. Oh, you're an American. They know by the way we dress. Never mind the way we speak. It's real out here.
Yeah, and when I think about all of that, bonnets and pajama pants and all that, they pick up on that as adults. We question when kids look like that, but sometimes kids may view us when we're not on point, like you're like, damn, you're a hot mess, whatever. I shocked the world this year. Not the world, but a couple people like at the start of the year, it was hot and all that. And I typically don't wear shorts, but the first couple of days of school, so man, I'm gonna wear me some shorts. And of course, they was khaki shorts, of course, and it probably was 80 something, 90 degrees, and of course, it had the shirt or whatever, whether it was the my school polo shirt, khaki shorts, socks, footwear matching with it. That I think it more through the staff more for a loophole than the kids, whatever. I think they probably come to expect like, okay, this is style. This is what he do, and I guess it's about establishing identity of who you are and consistency. What I can say, I ain't trying to contribute to this, but I'm very observant on stuff. I did see, um, because again, like I said, in middle school, I said, man, it was important that I was like, I'm not gonna be wearing these damn church shoes up in here, breaking up fights or trying to chase kids down. So I stepped up my sneaker game a lot more,
Mhm.
and I was always head to toe. And some staff observed that, like they were like, "Glover, how many pair of sneakers you got?" And I'm like, I don't know. I was like three, about 3 pair. No, every you have a pair that match every shirt, whatever. And then my counterpart, my counselor, she's like, And he probably has matching socks. Oh, she know that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And she's like, he probably has matching socks to go with it. But then I start seeing a trend where some of these teachers start trying to upgrade their foot game. But let me tell you something, little ladies, a little secret. If you're trying to rock Jordans and all that stuff, you can't have on no tight, what's the shit, the tight ankle ass jeans with some
Yeah.
freaking Jordans and all that stuff. You can't do that. Kids all over that. They're all over that. And you may be in your 30s, late 40s, and you're like, oh, man, hey, I can do what Mr. Glover trying to pull out. I don't do all that with no tight ankle stuff and some big ass sneakers hanging out, whatever. You got to make it make sense. And but I've seen the increase of these women, and I was like, they're like, oh, they try to keep up. They try to keep up. Jordans, the Air Maxes, the Dunks, and all that stuff. I understand why they see. It just came natural to me. That's just like I always been. Like no matter what, I always been like a head to toe type of person, and I contribute that to my father. He was big in fashion. Probably one of his better strengths that I know of. I ain't gonna dog him out. May he rest in peace. But that was one of his things, and sometimes it comes natural. I always tell my mother this when we ride back to Niagara Falls, and it's a theme for an event. I said, dressing is a science.
Hmm.
And she like, oh, kind of look at me. So it's a science, whatever. You got to visualize. If you're going to a certain event, you got to visualize what you want to wear, and you got to bring that to life.
Yeah.
Uh, you can't, unless you want to look like everybody else. And a lot of people, you run around with a bunch of twins, triplets, quadruplets, the same outfit, same everything. I said, but if you know of a certain event and that you got time ahead, you got to visualize. It's an art, like the science. So that's how I kind of look at stuff as that. But some people they try to, okay, I'm trying to pull this off, but they may not pull it off because they're uncomfortable doing it, and kids can sense that. What we got here? We got a comment here.
Yes,
Yes,
community
I
said I
used.
used to manage a lot of young kids, and yes, they will be on you if they think your fit is off.
Yeah,
They're
and that's
relentless.
true. Yeah, and they don't let up. And if you thought you had a bad day, they're gonna be waiting for your ass tomorrow, the next day, whatever. So it's no excuses, whatever. They're gonna stay coming for you. You gotta have tough skin. You gotta have, and like I always tell them, I snap back. I said, so I'm from the old school. Like you just ain't gonna tee off on me. You not go. I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna be ruthless. Like damn, like Mr. Glover just teed, teed off on and had the girl balled up in the corner. I laughed. I'm gonna say some sharp, quick stuff, whatever, and make you critically think. And some people might catch on like, whoa, like I'll give you an example. So our school is the Nottingham crabs. So for incentives, we give out, uh, you give out fake dollars and you call them crab bucks. And I was doing the presentation and I was handing out crab bucks. And once they gather this, they could go to the school store and get some supplies or whatever. So people was, when they was participating, I was giving them crab bucks in one of the students. Well, nobody want them crab bucks. Nobody want them crab bucks. Um, but the students who into it and like, okay, I'm gonna gather these so I can go to the that's incentive, so I can go to the schools and like be above everybody else, and I have that opportunity because I earned all of these books. That's what it's about, trying to be better than the next person. So the one girl was saying that, did me, I could be. like I said, I could be petty. You interrupted my presentation and my flow. I said, I said, what you rather have? A crab cake? And all the students now, they just like, whoa, started laughing. Whoa, wow, damn! Like, got you. So she was kind of tight behind it. I said, oh, you want me to give you a crab cake, huh? But she came back with one. At least I'm not shaped like a crab cake. And I let her have it, whatever. But that's the type of environment I try to do. I'm gonna give them some real. You and when I'm teaching them, you can't say whatever you want to anybody.
Yeah. Okay.
Nobody's gonna say anything. I'm gonna always have a response back, and I'm gonna catch you because I'm quick with it, and I'm gonna catch you with some. Oh, you talking about the crab bucks? What you prefer? I know you rather have crab cake. So they all started laughing at her. Then she kind of toned it down. But I'm saying this all to be saying that all of this stuff kind of tying together, and you got to be on point. You got to be confident in who you are and what you do and the walk that you walk. Because we're in some different times with this generation. I don't know. As we get older and you think about like these are the people that's going to take care of us and all of that stuff. Some daunting and scary times where you can see when you have these younger people and you go to their customer service skills, the rolling of the eyes, they don't have no patience, barely sell them. I know it was a couple times. I think at one time I went to and I was like, and I don't know what happened. I was like, I want to get this young lady, send her a gift card or something. I think I was in Popeyes or something. And she was so nice, so polite, and just willing to do whatever. And I was shocked. And I was like, wow. Like, I'm impressed by her. And every now and then there's some kid that kind of shock you and you're like, yo, they got it. They got that it factor. Like, they understand. But these are the times that we're dealing with, and I don't think people think that deep into it because you're too concerned about the here and now, but you don't think about futuristic stuff like, like we all aging, we're getting older, and these kids right now, for us, if we end up in a nursing home and all that, I can tell y'all right now, the end result, they're gonna beat y'all ass down. For real. For real. For real.
Elder abuse. Abuse.
Yo, it's coming. It's coming. And ain't gonna film the shit. Ain't gonna film the shit. And ain't gonna care. Again, I always say, y'all think we're being facetious. They ain't gonna beat your ass down for real. I know it sounds kind of harsh. That's why my alias is the controversial counsel. But I'm dead. I'm serious though. I'm very serious. I'm saying this. And the big bad wolf laughing. I'm very serious. So,
I know because they're fighting their parents.
Yeah.
So if they're fighting their parents now, just imagine what they're gonna do when some of them are gonna be absolved of whatever it is because mental illness, they suffering trauma, they got the list is endless, and if you think for a moment that the excuse or excuses for the behavior are mounting, like David said, just wait till they get into positions of authority where they can carry out their whims because they're physically capable and there's no one there to stop them. Nobody there. No oversight, no police officer, no authority. They just get to run roughshod over whoever or whatever it is. We see that in parents. We see that in parents and how they treat their children. So where do you think that is going to manifest itself and come out at? Oh, you remind me of my mother. You remind me of my father. You come in a supervisor comes in a retirement home in one of the rooms and see Mrs. Such and such folded up, stitches bleeding from the head. What the hell is this? They're calling the orderlies. No, I ain't helping that motherfucker up. That motherfucker said some shit to me. It's real, people. It's real. And we have yet to see this stuff actually come out, because we haven't reached the point. Give it another decade to where Gen X people start to retire and may need long-term care, like Dave was talking about, because that never ends. Long-term elder care is not going anywhere, despite all the cuts. That matter of fact, it might increase. And just imagine if some of the cuts that Trump is making with legislation and things of that nature with the government shutdown happens and those cuts remain. And all of a sudden now you see those type of places start to decrease their capacity. Somebody's got to take care of them. So where they end up? In homes where they're neglected, in homes where people don't want them to be. So you think elder abuse in nursing homes is high? Just imagine if the latter of what I just talked about happens. Just like we talked about kids who have no protection. We said the two groups of people who are prone to being abused are the elderly and the kids, not the youth necessarily, but the kids. So when there's nobody there who can report and there's nobody going in the house to check, yeah. So people, it's real. Either we start to rein these kids in now, while they're young enough to be, if you want, or dare I say, reprogrammed, re-engineered, or taught better. Somebody's gonna catch hell. So a lot of somebody's gonna catch hell, and that's not what we want. That's not what we should want as a society. But that's where we're headed.
But you know what? They ain't even thinking about this. They ain't even thinking that far down the line. They're not thinking about that. They're only dealing with the here and now. We talk about this stuff. Thoughts just flow and just come out, and we just know based on the behavior, it's coming. It's coming. You not gonna be somebody in there and be like, you nigger, wash me up or do this, nigger. What? What did you just say? They not going for it. They not going for it. And again, they gonna whoop your ass and film it. And it's gonna go viral. And they not gonna care. And it's unfortunate that we want them to have self-control to say, man, you can't do that. It's gonna be some repercussions behind this. But on the the first insight that if it's not somebody in their ear, they're not gonna care. And it seems like now that we keep slapping them on the wrist with some of the crimes and different things that they do. Mm-hmm. Shit, I can tell firsthand when I got my car stolen back in the day.
Yep.
You got your car stolen, whatever. Your ass was you wasn't gonna be seen for a while as a kid. Like, where the hell you was at? Yeah, he came back diesel as hell. Well, I was at Job Corps. I was at this and that. Now it's just like a joke. A joke. Like they don't even look for the people who steal the car. they come at you to make sure, like, are you lying? Is this
Yeah.
a setup? Is this a fraud? We we jacked up in this game when you think about it, especially when you because that's how I felt like. What are you talking about? I stepped out. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I come out and y'all questioning me more than y'all looking for the person who took the vehicle.
Hmm.
Because also kids understand laws and all that stuff, and they understand what they can get away with, whatever. Because they see these videos and all this stuff. Again, they have more tools than we have. All they got to do is Google something or AI something, and they say, they not on this. So that's why we gonna try the next move, do this and that. So we're just trying to inform you and just open up your eyes. But if we go back to the school thing and we think about the dress code, because again, I say all of this stuff is connected. It's all connected, whether you think it or not. Uh, and we look at the dress code, whether guys, but it always end up being mostly females. Um, Negative impacts, distractions, clothing that's too revealing, casual, or flashy can divert student attention from lesson and create a sense of discomfort. And again, they're looking. And again, some of you can't help. You can't help your body's your body form, and you want to be comfortable in your own skin. And sometimes it may be a tight fitting outfit, but I don't know if it's a but. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's an answer to it. But we know that students will be distracted and they'll be locked in, and that believe me, that you might be the first class that they never late for.
Yeah.
And I
Oh
can
yeah.
say this: I never seen and I'm speaking on the female aspect. I never seen a nice looking teacher uh, that students didn't like, that they hated. I never seen that. Instantly, you become the top teacher. Your classroom management skills, and you may be lacking in other areas, but the attention is on you. They can't wait to get to your class. They want your attention. They want your presence. They want your one on one. Oh, I don't understand this, Miss Jackson. They want you to come over, and it's just real. I've never seen a teacher that was gorgeous that kids didn't like. I've never seen it.
And,
Uh,
and
in my years experience, I've never seen it.
and just to add to that, heaven forbid if you were in a scent that they like. Oh, yo, they get together and talking about so and so smell good, and like David said, it's not just the boys. Now we know we don't see an abundance of male teachers in school, but you got these young girls, and hey, they like what they like. I know we joke about the layaway plan, but they say, shoot, when I get older, I'm gonna find me someone like Mr. Johnson. Smell good, he dress well, he funny, he tall, he this, he that. We all know how younger girls do with their fantasies. They get a thought, it's like 100-meter dash. They're not stopping. Even when you think the race is over, they're still going. Matter of fact, let me throw this nugget out there. And I feel like I talked about this last time. Damn fireworks! I'm still laughing at the fact that the female thinks that child is mine. But hey, this is how their minds function. So when I say the fantasies don't stop, the illusions don't stop, let the wrong one be motivated with a particular thought. It's gonna take a team of locomotors to stop that individual. And this is and it gets into all the stuff generally boils down to mental health. And this is why there's such a bigger emphasis on it now than ever before. Because they'll say, what kind of trauma has this child suffered? What kind of things has this child been through? And they'll start looking first, not at home records, but they start looking at school records. Were there a behavioral issue? They can go talk to the teachers. Do you remember such and such? Such and such was just, she just kind of sat there and just doodled and, just did odd things. Got good grades. She didn't bother anybody. But all the while, coffin dropped off. All the while, she's sitting there doodling odd things, and teachers never thought anything about it. And this is what I talked about last week. If you sit down and you ask the child a question, they'll give you all kinds of information. All of a sudden, you say, "We didn't know this." They said nobody paid attention to the fact that this child was isolated. She came from a home where she might have been abused, so she associates certain clothing with certain behaviors. And all of a sudden now, when she sees something like that, she shies away from it. Or he shies away from it. So a culture now has been created to where this child identifies certain things with certain behaviors. So now she sees a guy walking down the street with a hat and a certain tie, and he smells a certain way because she's associated with that cologne with this particular person. Yeah, she'll shy away. And that guy don't know her. He hasn't done anything. Next thing you know, she's saying, "Get away from me." I was like, "I haven't done anything." Heaven forbid they're in a place where there's a crowd and she causes a scene. And we see this type of stuff. This is what they call Karen behavior. And we don't know what's behind that behavior. It's not like you can pull an adult off the street and start examining them right there. No, they're violating all manners of rights. But this stuff happens. And we don't ask why. We just chalk it up and say, "Oh, they're being a Karen, they're being a Ken, or they're being whomever." A lot of this stuff that we talk about in adults stem from childhood. So you got a kid that's picked on, and that's what, and no doubt, that's why some of these teachers fold up, like Dave said, because they may have been picked on as kids. They may have been not the popular kid. They didn't start getting good clothes until they got to college, but they carry that scar with them. And these kids are good at figuring out deficiencies. They're good at figuring out your weaknesses. It reminds me of the beginning of the Shawshank Redemption, when Andy and the other guy go in there and they start looking for fresh fish, and they start chanting, "Fresh fish. Hey, I'm gonna make you my boyfriend. Yeah, don't mind. We just and do crack." And the guy beat him so bad, man, killed him. It happens. We're not here to glorify it. We're just here to say, "Hey, keep an eye out. Watch for this type of stuff."
Yeah. One of the things, it may not be the traditional way you receive information. A lot of it is storytelling. A lot of it is you can project, and you can kind of, based on the way things are going, that it's safe to say it may go that way. So again, when we think about dressing and all that stuff, as far as in the school thing, It could be viewed as a lack of respect. Inappropriate attire can undermine a teacher's authority and make it challenging for students to take them seriously. And you may have someone, say for example, if you that fine teacher that you had on one of them outfits that I posted earlier. And do I have to bring one back up? Let me just say. Let me just go this. And you got on that. And then you got the male staff that's all the male staff flock around her. And she teeing and giggling, or she called, could you come and get Daquan out of class? And they racing to get there to be that hero playing a hero ball. The kids, they will make comments and say, oh yeah, I think he like her, whatever. She a thought or whatever. You see what she had on, and he always up at her classroom. You know, again, they notice everything. So now you're being labeled, and it could be totally innocent. That could be just your personality, and again, you can't help the way that you shape whatever. And if you decide to wear certain things, and people gravitate toward it, but the kids may look at it as okay. Oh, now the staff they be when she get on this walkie or she get on the phone, they right here. Anybody else, they could be calling for 2, 3 to 5 minutes and nobody comes. But when Miss Such and Such call, they all over it.
Me.
So now they kind of, and if you're the same person, they kind of link you together. They can link you together. How I know this to be true? Some years ago, when I first at middle school, I had an intern, and I had girls in the back of the cafeteria, and they would just, I don't know, be staring. And when my intern, of course, she came to lunch duty uh, with me, and she would kind of see the interactions during the lunch duty. But then, then after we would like kind of talk, and we would be laughing, and she like, oh my god, like all of this happens here. Now we just minding our business, but you have them looking back like, oh, look at Mr. Glover. Everything they say, he and whatever, he just cracking up, whatever. Uh, then all of a sudden, me and her became an item because I was teeing with her, and I normally don't do that. So all of a sudden, we became an item, and it wasn't nothing that she had on, but I'm trying to for you to connect the dots that if it's a teacher, that the image I showed, and then you know the some male staff and safety assistants or whatever in the school, and they're if she calls and if a student acting up and they right there, and then the kids see them always chuckling and laughing, they form perceptions and thoughts in their head that oh, them two
Mhm.
together and
Yep.
all that, and that could just be based. And it's more than likely it could be totally innocent, but that's the type of that's how their minds work. As far as lack of respect, their disruptions, and certainly when we talk about disruptions, of course you shouldn't be wearing anything with bold graphics, slogans, or controversial messages that can spark debates, arguments, or unwanted discussions. Uh, you know, as a teacher, from the old slogan, you you, you don't want to have on a T-shirt that says, and you got Caucasian students in your class or Asians, and You got on a T-shirt and it says it's a black thing. Yeah, I wouldn't understand.
Ooh.
Even though it might be a Friday, you don't think that that's go kind of trigger some people. Um, Not saying I've seen anybody like that, but I'm sure it's people that have different messages or something, T-shirts and stuff, or words on that kids pick up on, or and hopefully you will be wise enough not to wear that to work. And then inequalities, some of the things like some inequalities that it might be your own counterparts that might be concerned about what you're wearing. It may feel like, well, why is she wearing this? If I wore this, or whatever the case is, it would be something different. So, you're dealing with those challenges as well. Because now you got your other staff upset, but she never get reprimanded,
Yeah.
or they ain't call her out on this or whatever. Last time I came in here and I had on this, they said this or said that, or I was late a few minutes, but they never say nothing about what she wears to work. All stuff that can add to um, drama. And then again, perception of the teacher. Students may view teachers who dress inappropriately as less professional but less committed to their job. And they will make comments like that. She ain't really serious. She ain't no real teacher. It looked like she just came from the strip club or whatever the case is. You just got to be mindful of that. I'm just throwing out a few examples uh, just to kind of get the stuff to resonate in your head. Like, okay. And it's not pointed toward anybody, it's just casual conversation. And those of you in education may understand, like, I know what he's saying, I know what he's getting at, but that's what I have for now. Big Bad Wolf.
Um, just to close that particular thing out. Um, Favoritism or preferential treatment, if you will, has ruined a lot of things, a lot of careers, has forced people to go to other jobs. It can disrupt the fabric of an otherwise cohesive work environment. Nobody wants to feel like they're being ostracized. Nobody wants to feel like they're being targeted, if you will. And if you don't have a good HR department or an open door policy where people can speak to managers before they have to go to AR, you're going to create a whole lot of strife when there should not be any. And that's a very good way to, one, lose quality employees, to undermine your place of employment, never mind the work environment. Personally speaking, I have, at least to my knowledge, I have never heard, well, I can't say I've never heard, I've never witnessed what I saw as preferential treatment to certain individuals. Now, personally speaking, at a particular place of employment, I don't necessarily think it was a person that was given preferential treatment. I think it was a group of people that were given preferential treatment in that particular place. Now is suffering from a lack of available employees. They're struggling to hire people now. Some people chalk that up to work environment. Some people chalk that up to non-competitive pay. Take your pick. Either one could be applicable. So, just keep all the stuff in mind that, clothing, the attitudes toward clothing, the way you present yourself. especially when you're on the job. All that has a bearing on how you will be treated, how you be looked at, and how you will be perceived. And I don't think anybody wants to be taken advantage of. Nobody wants to look like a fool. But you don't know until you know. And as G.I. Joe's used to say, slogan, knowing is half the battle. And if you don't know, you can't fight that battle. So get it figured out. Get it figured out quick. Pick a lane, stay in it.
And I think it, again, like we talked about earlier, I think it all boils down to is knowing yourself and being comfortable with who you are. And I know some people have that mindset, ain't no kid gonna tell me, and ain't no damn staff gonna tell me I wear what's in my wardrobe unless they're gonna pay me to get something different. Um, I mean, you could take that approach, but then on the other end, should you have to look at also supervisors or people like that? Uh, we know that we have relationships that happen amongst them, that things happen or transpire that you may get a pass for that, and so it's kind of one of those discussions. Like there's so many layers to this that uh, that's why some people might feel like it's a form of expression. Like, oh, I don't want to touch that conversation because at the last school the principal ain't do nothing, and such, or these ladies they wore this or they wore that, and he didn't mind, or it could be a a female principal. So it's it's kind of more of awareness of being comfortable in your own skin and how you're going to represent yourself going into work to be the best person you can be. And that's how you kind of view it. But as we've seen from earlier, some of the early images I posted, yeah, there's one like that. And what you gonna do? If they're you can't. I guess it's that's why it makes the the whole topic controversial because again, like I said in my promo, some women could wear a damn blanket around a blanket in the work and they could fill that out, and you like, what can you do? So I think it's one of those conversations that gotta kind of tread lightly. Now, some people go beyond when you start seeing ass cheeks and stuff like that, or your whole breast hanging out and all that stuff. That's on a different level. But certain people only they just have just enough to get people going and be on the edge. Because some people like living on the edge. They say, "Shit, that's the only way I like it. I like to be. I like to smoke at work." and, and they'll push it to the end. But I guess it depends on the individual. What do you want? What do you expect to gain out of it? And why are you there? Why are you there? Are you there for the right reasons?
Mm-hmm.
That's another story to be told as far as that.
That is it. It's a journey.
This is one of them subjects, whatever. You just you throw things out there and you see what's what, and and I know that you probably get a different reaction later on if people came to view it, but it's real when we all the different elements that we brought up that you have to think about and you have to understand. We're in a different time now than before. We only have the experience of when we was in school and we know what we did, but now it's a different time, a different playing field, and these kids they going for broke. So
Yeah.
you want to be comfortable in who you are. I think that's the start. Being comfortable with who you are, and you're willing to take on any battle when you're comfortable in your own skin. When you're not comfortable, that's when they got you, and
Hmm.
they know when you're not comfortable. And they'll take advantage of that. And as adults will too, administration and other people, they will take advantage of when you're not comfortable.
Yeah. It's it's a it's a cruel world we live in. Like Wu Tang said, protect your neck. You know, find out all you can about where you are, the people you work with, and I will tell you now, don't befriend anybody you don't know and you don't trust fully, because that's the best way to be blindsided. You especially if you're relocating. You relocating, you don't know the lay of the land, you don't have any friends there. I would look at everybody as a potential adversary, if you will, because you fresh meat. You walking into prison like Andy Dufresne. Are you gonna stand up like Andy, or you gonna mouse out like the other dude? You be laying in a pile of heat, waiting for somebody to come scoop you up and say next person. Because life's a meat grinder. Make no bones about it. Life is a meat grinder, and there are people just sitting there looking to take advantage of the weak. They want to color her. They want to make sure, hey, look, we got to test this individual to make sure this individual right. Because if something go down, we don't want him snitching. We don't want her snitching. I'll tell you now, the last two jobs, three now, that I've had the privilege of working, I walked in not knowing anybody. And you know what? I was better off for it because I got to stand on my own merit. I got to figure out who was who the major players were, who was trying to set people up for what. And hey, people kind enough to give me some information. Say, hey, this is what you look out for. This is what this person tries to do. This is how this person tries to get over on you. So be mindful, people. You know, anybody can be got almost at any time, especially if you ain't on your square. Get on your square, stay on your square. Be aware. It's the only thing I can tell you as a 53-year-old man, especially a minority male. I managed to navigate corporate America pretty well and doing some things pretty well. Hey, my advice to you: hold your good, knuckle up.
Yeah. So, with that being said, I'm not going to belabor the point about it. And again, this all will come back up again.
Mm-hmm.
Always spin the block in some form. It'll be some. It'll be some big old thing that went viral, and y'all say, "Damn." Well, Herb may send me something. Remember, we just talked about this. It came up again. It'll be something. So can't shy away from these conversations. I know many of y'all hiding under covers, want to shy away
Mm-hmm.
from it, but it's gonna come. The truth and things that's valid and all that stuff always gonna show up at your window when you don't you don't want it to, but you're like, damn, I can't avoid this conversation or this situation. But it's coming. But again, I'm not gonna belabor the point. I'm about to get out of here. We about to get out of here. It's a good Monday night football game. I think the Chiefs is losing to Jacksonville.
That's gonna make Bills fans real happy.
This is shaping up to a very interesting football season with a lot of parity coming up. The Ravens, trash. If the Chiefs lose this, they destroy it. I really wish Buffalo could have won that game
I,
last night.
Buffalo's not gonna play like that the rest of the year. And you know what the funny thing about the outcome of that game? I'm listening to the pregame and I'm standing in the living room, and I'm putting myself in the announcer's shoes, and they asked a question about Buffalo losing. No, Buffalo will lose. I'm like, look, any given Sunday, like the movie, if Buffalo goes in and A, they turn the ball over, which they did, and B, they get a boatload of penalties, they're going to lose. They're going to lose. And sure enough, it's going to pass. But Buffalo's not going to play like that the rest of the year. And it's funny, I listen to the local affiliate WGR 550, and sometimes they just, when something like this happens, it's like, now what? 17-game schedule. Buffalo wasn't supposed to go undefeated. Nobody goes undefeated. Now, if I'm Eagle fans, I might be worried. I might be. Them birdies. Click, 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 click. I know the bald eagle's supposed to be a protected animal, but ain't nobody thinking about that shit right now. Go lick out the wings. That's right. I still got to come to Dallas. And we
Chiefs just tied it back up, so they still alive, whatever. So it's going to be interesting. I love this time of the year now. Now we're starting to separate the contenders and the pretenders in the NFL. Then the NBA will be starting in
NHL. Yeah, buddy, sports person's dream right about now.
Got some closing out good boxing matches coming up. So this is a man's dream, college football, eating up whatever. So as I say,
yeah, my boys roll out the SC next week. This coming Saturday, it should be interesting.
Who
Michigan and SC.
Then it's cuffing season. It's gonna start getting colder. So I know some of y'all women. Yeah, all about sports. All of a sudden, got every jersey and all that. I wish y'all knock that shit off. For real. For real. Like, for real. And I know someone say, oh, my brothers, I grew up, they played sports and all that stuff, but you ain't 50-some years old out tailgating and carrying on and wearing the jersey. That's just not how the progression's supposed to be. I can't even imagine my grandmother with a jersey on and carrying on at 50. I know it's a different time, but I don't know that. That's probably another whole conversation. I don't know what's going on in this world. I don't. It's just different. Whatever. It's just different. But where we are, cuffing season. All this amount to cuffing season. Sports, weather getting colder.
Yeah.
Days are shorter. Nights are longer. Relationships are formed. Stay tuned for the closeout. Some guys, like I said, licking their chops. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
You better call Melvin.
You coming, whatever. Go tailgate your ass on down. Y'all can go tailgate all day long. As long as you got somewhere to stay. Really all good. I don't mean to pick on y'all ladies, whatever. I just say that. It's a lot of other things. So we it's a lot going on. A lot going on in this world. And I think before government shutdown and all this different things that's about to hit the pipe, whatever. Because I was watching something myself, and they was like, well, as far as SNAP benefits and different things, and it's like, well, they paid up. October's paid, but November is coming. It's like it's not right now unless they approve something else. It ain't no money in the budget or all that. That could be very depressing, like during the holiday season, if you don't get those benefits and all that stuff through November and December.
Kevin Samuels told him what is coming.
Then that leads to crime and other avenues, whatever. When people get desperate, because we already know, like in certain places you go. I think when I was in Niagara Falls a couple weeks ago, well, for my sister function, I was like, God damn, they lock up everything. These people stealing everything out these stores. You can't get this. You can't get some deodorant or whatever. It's bad out here. When you lock with, and it makes you just like, okay, I just got to order stuff online. But then again, during the holiday season, you got people lurking around for packages. So if you ain't there, and you ain't getting it delivered to your job, then your job may send out an email like, hey, all these packages coming up in here, pick these up. We can't hold all of these different packages. All of this stuff trickle down to each other. And you're like, oh, how do they go from here to go there? Because if you're not a connected dots, you'd know like all this stuff end up being connected. Buckle up, people. Buckle up. And for y'all people that were still barbecuing in Niagara Falls and Buffalo, and it was 85 degrees this past weekend, yeah, I know the snow coming. I keep saying it's going to hit before the end of October. I know it's coming.
I ain't quite ready yet. I still got some things I got to do before the
I
end
know
of the
people
month.
ain't ready, but I'll be like, but shit, if it ain't late October, shit, November early, it's gonna be a major snowfall.
Got to make a move quick then.
Better do something. I'm talking. It might hit him, but as educators, we were like, yes, yes, yes. No school, yes. I know that ain't good, but shit, I don't care what nobody say. Shit, you put in 32 years. Shit, you could celebrate a day off. So, Herb, any closing comments?
I'm good, man. Like I said, protect your neck, man. Know what's coming. Know what's there. He said, "Yuck, that's enough. We ain't got much choice up in this part. It's coming whether we ready or not. So the only thing we can do is get ready. Like Dave said, if you're ready, you don't have to get ready. So
we know it's coming.
Yeah, I'll give myself another month. I'll have what I need pretty much, and then I'll get done what needs to get done. So it is what it is. I ain't crying. No.
Be yourself. Be ready. Stay prepared, and self-awareness is the key. With just being in tune with different things to be prepared. But I don't have anything else for another productive week. And everybody stay safe, be well, continue being yourself and being the best of you. And if you got some goals and anything you want to work out, because we're closing out toward 25 is in there. It's a wrap. We're in the last quarter of that. If there's things you want to accomplish, try to get it done. Try to get it done. Make it happen. And that's all I can say. And look for people or resources that's going to help you accomplish what you need to accomplish. And again, we always talk about life is short. Things is happening. For you personally, you got to be able to move with the trends and move with the like the raft of the water or whatever. You got to keep it flowing. So that's where we at. You know, I got some things I'm trying to get done. It needs to happen because in my 60s, 70s, 80s, I want to be at peace. I don't want to be stressed out. I want to be at peace. I want to be able to say, the good life. Because again, I keep telling people, I think it's all good. But a lot of people, when they in their 50s, 60s, and they reach whatever level they can, 2, 3 years later, not even 2, 3 months, a year, you end up calling it, they call you home. Call you home. And so, and for me, it's personal because I see a lot of people that our age, especially from my hometown, that is
Mhm.
personal, that's being called home at a young age. Wow. And then you see things as far as athletes and different things like that happening to people at a young age. So
Yeah.
it kind of hits you, whatever, and you're like,
Yeah. Speaking of which, Lawrence Moulton, man, died.
yeah,
The
that
cat from
was,
Syracuse.
yeah, that was crazy because I think he was roommates with one of our legends in Niagara Falls, Al Wooten.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
so it's real. It's real. And at the end of at the end of the day, you always want to think about that and connect all this stuff with life. That 53, 54, 55, that's too young. That's too young to go, especially when you have children that's 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. Even shit, in their 30s, and they lose their pops or their moms, and they was only 50 something.
Yeah.
Scary times, man, for people. Just stay alert, people. That's all I'm saying. Not trying to depress y'all. Um, y'all gonna do what y'all want to do at the end of the day. You can't say nobody ain't bring it up. Hey, we ain't got 1,000 views going on here, whatever. All it takes is one person to listen and say, "Yo, that shit changed my life."
Mhm.
And that's what it's all about. And let me clear up one thing. Let me tell you how I always talk about know your personnel, KYP. So, you had this image come up in your memories, and I posted it and I put a caption that I got engaged. That that clearly the inside, the console of the cars is filthy. The woman, her outfit's filthy. Her nails is jacked up. That person hands, the guy hands is dirty, nails dirty, and that's why social media, I don't pay attention to shit. So I made that caption like I got engaged, and there's people like congratulations and all that stuff, not knowing who you. It was some people say, nah, that ain't your hands, that ain't you, unless you got a different career or whatever the case is. Those are the people I know that's alert, that pay attention. Yeah, I believe any damn thing on here. It's so sad. It was people, even my mother reached out to me. Why you got people calling me asking that you get engaged? And I'm like, I'm cracking up like, these people, y'all idiots. As Charles Barkley quick to say, Y'all are some fucking idiots for real. Again, know your personnel. You should have said, that ain't David. And I don't know how he keep his car, but that ain't his car, and I know damn well that ain't his hands. Whatever. Nails dirty and everything. The woman, her stretch pants look filthy and all that. And y'all believe that shit. Shame on y'all. I don't know if you seen it, her. Because it's like got like 2,000 views right about now. Well, I tell you.
Yeah. It reminds me of when I did the April Fool's prank about about potentially being a father.
See, just let me know that people just look for stuff like that. Y'all relish that shit. Like, oh, if that's him, clean your nails, do this and that. I couldn't wait to comment. Oh, he got engaged with his dirty, filthy ass. Yeah, I was eating that shit up like it wasn't nothing. Shame. Pay attention. Pay attention, man. Know your personnel. You should have known. See my nails? They clean. They clean. That's all the way. They're clean. And some people know that. It's like, those not your hands. I don't think those your hands. Very alert, very observant. So that let me know that you got some critical thinking skills. The rest of y'all who know me, who's supposed to know me, I'm looking at y'all sideways now. Every time I see y'all, every time I come up there, like, get the fuck out of here. You can't say nothing to me. All right, good people, we out, whatever.
Nah, yeah.
On to the
See you
next
next
one,
time.
whatever. You never know what I'm going to put out there again. Who knows? All right, y'all, we out. Peace.